So good morning to all. So today we discuss concurrency control in transaction management system. So what is concurrency control? What are the problems of concurrency? What are the problems when we are not implemented the concurrency control properly? So this is the concurrency. What is concurrency control? In a multi-programming environment, multiple transactions can be executed simultaneously. We already know that multi-programming. So in multi-programming, multiple programs or multiple transactions can be executed simultaneously. Concurrency control is the procedure in DBMS for managing simultaneous operations without conflicting each other. So concurrency control is one of the mechanisms, or it is a procedure in DBMS for managing simultaneous operations without conflicting each other. Because so when a database item is accessed by multiple transactions, there will be a conflicting is occurred. Conflict is occurred. So concurrency control is a mechanism. It is one mechanism in DBMS for managing simultaneous operations without conflicting each other. So without conflicting, so where is it is it is highly important to maintain the order of execution of these transactions. So in order to manage, in order to maintain the concurrency control, so it is highly important to maintain the execution of executions, execution of important order of execution of the transactions. We need order of execution of the transactions. We have the concurrency control mechanism protocols. We have the what is protocol? A protocol is some set of rules. That's we call it protocol. We have a concurrency control protocol to ensure atomicity, isolation, and durability, serializability of the concurrent transactions. The purpose of concurrency control mechanism, the purpose of concurrency control protocol is to ensure atomicity, we are all atomicity, isolation, and serializability of concurrent transactions. To ensure these, we use concurrence control protocols. So why we use the concurrency control method? Reasons for concurrency control method in DBMS. Reasons. To apply isolation through mutual exclusion between conflicting transactions. So that's we call it to apply isolation. So what is isolation? So only the database item can be accessed by only one transaction at a time. That's we call as isolation actually. To apply isolation through mutual exclusion between conflicting transactions, mutual exclusion between conflicting transactions. If there is any conflict for a database item, so we are using some concurrence control mechanism. That's to solve read-write and write-write conflicts. We have the problems read-write problem and the write-write problems. To preserve the database consistency, so to preserve the database consistency through constant measuring execution observations. The system needs to control the interactions among the concurrent transactions. So concurrence helps ensure serializability, helps for ensure serializability. What are the problems? Suppose if you are not applied the concurrence control mechanism properly, what are the problems occurred in concurrence control? That means when multiple transactions accessing the same database item at a time, we called as concurrence control. Suppose we are not implemented properly of concurrency control, there may be some problems occurred. What are the problems of concurrency control? Actually, there are three problems that are occurred during the concurrency control. They are last update, dirty read, unrepeatable read. These are the three problems that are occurred in concurrency control when we are not applied. So there are three problems that are occurred in concurrency control. They are So last update problem, dirty read and unrepeatable read. These are the three problems that are occurred when we are not implemented the concurrence control properly. What is last update problem? What is last update problem? When two transactions updating the same database item at some same database object at some time before the commit, then the database item is incorrect. So then that update is called as last update problem. When two transactions are updating the same database object at some time before the commitment, the database item is incorrect. For example, we have the two transactions. Let us assume that there are two transactions, X and Y. Let us assume that there are two transactions, X and Y. X and Y reads the record and update it. Then effecting of updating of the first record will not be overwritten by the second update. For example, if we take this is transaction X and this is transaction Y. So at time T2, transaction X reads the value of A. At the time T3, transaction Y reads the value of A. At time T4, so transaction X update the value A with 50. At time T5, so transaction Y update value 100. Finally, we get, for example, if the value of 100, value of A is 100, so totally finally the value of A will get 100. So when you updated, when you commit transaction Y, finally we get the value is 200, not 250, because there is an interleaving of transactions. This is interleaving. So that means we are executing one transaction without completion of another transaction. That's we called as interleaving. This is called as interleaving of transactions. Right. This we will called as write problem. This we called as a write problem. So we'll called as, this is also called as a write problem. This we called as a write problem. So finally we get only one one value. So actually we are update to two places, but we are getting only one value. So that's why this is called as write problem. So this is at time T2, transaction X reads the value of A. At time T3, transaction Y reads value of A. At time T4, transaction X updates the value of A. At time T5, transaction Y update value of A. So at time T5, so update the transaction X is lost. The value which is updated by the transaction X is lost because transaction Y is overwritten. So we lost the updation of transaction X, and because transaction Y is overwritten. So without clicking its current value, such a type of problem is called as a last updation problem. So we lost X transaction updation and we get only Y transaction updation only. So this we called as last updation problem or write problem. So there are three problems that are occurred in concurrence control. So when we are not properly implemented, so this is one first problem. So last updation problem we will also called as write problem. So what is last updation problem? So when multiple transactions updating the same database item without commitment of first transaction, then we get the problem. Such a problem we called as write problem. Here is an example. Transaction X is updating the value and transaction Y is also updating the value. Finally, we get the transaction X updation, transaction Y updation, and we cannot get the transaction X updation. So this problem we called as write problem. So this is occurred due to interleaving of transactions, because both the transactions are executing simultaneously. So without, that's we called as interleaving of transactions. Except without a completion of X transaction, Y transaction is also started. So that's we called as interleaving of transactions. So due to this is the one problem that are occurred by concurrency control. This is called as write problem. So another problem is dirty read. The another problem of transaction we called as read write problem. We called as read write dirty read, or we called as read write problem. So read write problem we will call as dirty read problem for dirty read. So what is dirty read? Dirty read occurs in case when one transaction updating a database item, one transaction updating dirty read occurs in the case when one transaction updates an database item, and then another transaction, and then the transaction fails for some reason. The update database item is accessed by another transaction before it is changed back to the original value. That we called as a dirty read problem. For example, at time t2, so transaction y updates the value of a. At time t3, transaction x reads the value of a. At time t4, transaction y rollbacks the value of a. So the value which is read by the transaction x is incorrect because the update is a rollback. This problem we called as dirty read problem. So this we called as, so at time t2, transaction y updates the value of a. At time t3, transaction x reads the value of a. At time t4, y rollbacks. So it is its a value will becomes back to the original prior to the t1. So the transaction x now contains a value which is never becomes a part of the stable database. That means the value which is read by transaction x is incorrect. Such a problem is known as a dirty read problem, as one transaction reads a dirty value which has not been committed. So that's we called as a dirty read problem. One transaction reads a value which has been not committed. That's we called as a dirty read problem. This is called as another problem we called as read write problem, because one transaction reading the value, another transaction is writing the value. That's we called as read write problems. This is another problem of transaction control, transaction concurrency control. The third problem of the third problem of concurrency control is inconsistency retrieval problem. So we have another problem, that is the inconsistency retrieval problem. What is inconsistency retrieval? So inconsistency retrieval problem is also known as unrepeatable read problem. So inconsistency retrieval problem is also called as unrepeatable read problem. When a transaction calculates some summary function over a set of data, while other transactions are updating the data, then inconsistency retrieval problem is occurs. When one transaction calculates the summary functions over some set of data, other transactions are updating the data. One is calculating some summary of the data and other transaction updating the data. Then such inconsistency, we get some inconsistent results. That type of we called as inconsistency retrieval problems. So let us assume that there are two transactions X and Y. Transaction X reads a record and then do some other are processing during the transaction, during that time transaction Y update the record. Now the transaction T1 reads the now the transaction X reads the record, then the new value will consistent in the prior value. For example, this is one example of inconsistency retrieval. So let us assume that there are three accounts: account 1, account 2, account 3. Account 1 has the balance of 200, account 2 has the balance of 250, account 3 has the balance of 150. Actually, we have the three accounts: account 1, account 2, and account 3. Account 1 has the balance of 200 rupees. Account 2 has the balance of hello, madam. మూడు ఎట్లా కుదురుతుంది? నేను మూడు ఏ రోజు ఆ రోజు అన్నా కానీ మూడు ఒకే రోజు వచ్చి కష్టం కదా, వాళ్ళు ఒప్పుకోరు కదా. ఆ పేపర్స్ లేవు, వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లం కదా. ఏ రోజు వచ్చి ఆ ఒక్క గంట రాసుకోమని చెప్పాను అంతే, కానీ ఎవరు అటెండెన్స్ షీట్ వాళ్ళకి వేరుగా ఉంటుంది కదా. అదే చెప్పండి, ఎవరు అటెండెన్స్ షీట్ వాళ్ళకి వేరుగా ఉంటుందండి. వచ్చి నేను రాత్రి కూడా వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ చెప్తానని చెప్పాను. అటెండెన్స్ షీట్ ఉంటుందండి, అటెండెన్స్ సైన్ చేయాలి, ఎవరు అటెండెన్స్ షీట్ వాళ్ళకి ఉంటుంది, వచ్చి కొంతసేపు కూర్చొని రాసి పొమ్మనండి అని చెప్పాను. So we have the three accounts: account 1, account 2, and account 3. Account 1 has the balance of 200 rupees, account 2 has the balance of 250 rupees, account 3 has the balance of 150 rupees. For example, transaction X. At time T2, transaction X read the balance of account 1. Then what is the balance of account 1? 200 rupees. That value is assigned to sum. At the same time, read the balance of account 2 also. What is the balance of account 2? 250. So 250. So it reads at time T3. So you updated the value, sum equal to sum plus sum is 200 plus 2, account 2 balance is 250. Finally, sum has the 450 value. At time T4, so transaction by read the balance of account 3. What is the balance of account 3? 150. Update the balance of account 150. So 150 minus 50. So finally, account 3 balance is 100 rupees. We have the 100 rupees. Read balance of account 1. So it reads the balance of account 1. What is the balance of account 1? 200 rupees. Updated the balance of account 1. Account 1 balance is updated. So what is the balance of account 1? So 200 plus 50. What is the value of 2? This is 250. So finally we have the 250. Read balance of account 3. What is the account 3 balance? Account 3 balance is 100. So this we get the problem. So this the problem. Actually we get the transaction X doing the sum of all the balances, while Y is transferring an amount 50 from account 1 to account 3. Hence transaction X produced the result 550, which is incorrect. Actually it produced the value 550, which is incorrect result. So such a type of transaction we called as inconsistency retrieval. Actually, the result is 150, but we are getting 600. We get the only 600, but we got the 550 only. That is the problem that we called as inconsistency retrieval. These are the three problems that are occurred by the concurrency control. What's one very important? What is a concurrency control? What are the problems of concurrency control? So what is concurrent multi-programming in multi-programming environment, multiple transactions are executed simultaneously. Concurrency control is the mechanism or procedure in DBMS for managing simultaneous operations. So without conflicting each other. So this we call as concurrency control. Concurrency control is a mechanism or a procedure in DBMS for managing simultaneous operations without conflicting each other. If we are not maintain the concurrency control, we get some problems. The problems that are occurred by the concurrency control is, so there are three problems of concurrency control. Last update we called as write-write problem. Another is called as read-write problem. And last one is unrepeatable read problem. These are the three problems that are occurred by the concurrency control. So when suppose a database, so what is last updation problem? When multiple transactions are updating the same database item at the same time. So in this case, so one transaction updation will be lost. This is called as last updation problem. So that's we called as last updation. We'll say that some other way. We call as when two transactions are updating the same database item. In this case, one transaction updation will be lost. This is called as last update problem. So this is called as last update. When multiple transactions are when two transactions updating the same database item. Sometime in this case, when one transaction updation will be lost, this is called as a last updation problem. This is an example of last updation. What is dirty read? So when one transaction updating the value, at some time the value is rolled back. At that time, the another transaction reads the updated value. One transaction updates the value. Another transaction reads the updated value. So in some time, the transaction is rolled back. Then the value which is read by other transaction is incorrect. Such a problem we called as dirty read problem. This is an example of dirty read. We called as read-write problem. So another is inconsistency retrieval. So this is what is inconsistency retrieval. Inconsistency retrieval problem is known as unrepeatable read. When a transaction calculates summary function over set of data items while other transactions are updating the data, then we get the inconsistency retrieval that we called as inconsistency problem. This is an example of inconsistency retrieval. So then what are the protocols? What are the concurrency control protocols? So what are the concurrency control? What is a protocol? A protocol is a subset of rules. Some set of rules we call as protocols. Actually, what are the protocols? There are two different concurrency control protocols. One is called as log-based concurrency control protocol. Another is timestamp-based concurrency control protocol. So we have the methods. So I will give the 1 minute. Concurrency protocol ensures it ensures atomicity, isolation, serializability of concurrent transactions. The concurrency control protocols will be classified into three categories. There are three categories of concurrency control protocols. They are log-based protocols, timestamp-based protocol, and validation-based protocols. Actually, there are three concurrency control protocols. They are log-based protocols, timestamp-based protocol, and validation-based protocol. Now we'll go for log-based protocols. First, we'll go for concurrency control with log-based protocol. With log-based. See, in log-based, in this type of protocol, if any database item want to read a data, suppose in this protocol, any transaction cannot read or write data item until it acquires an appropriate lock. So once a database in any the transaction can perform an operation on database item, first of all, the transaction must acquire an appropriate lock. Otherwise, the transaction cannot perform the operations. In a log-based protocol, log-based concurrency control protocol. In log-based concurrency control protocol, any transaction wants to perform an operation on database item, then the transaction must acquire the appropriate lock on that item. Otherwise, the transaction cannot perform the operations. So that is the main rule. In this type of protocol, any transaction cannot read or write data item until it acquires an appropriate lock on it. So any transaction in this type of protocol, any transaction cannot perform read or write the data item, cannot perform read or write data, read or write data until it acquires an appropriate lock on it. So that's we call this. Actually, there are two types of locks. They are shared lock and exclusive lock. When a transaction acquires shared lock, the transaction can read the database item only. Suppose a transaction want to read the database item, the transaction can request shared lock. When a transaction hold that shared lock, then the transaction can perform read operation on this data item. That we called as shared lock. It is known as read-only. We call the shared lock is also known as read-only lock. In shared lock, the data item can only read by the transaction. So that's we call it. It cannot be shared between. It can be shared between the transactions, because when a transaction holds a lock, then it cannot update the data on this item. So it is shared lock can be accessed when it is shared lock, it can be accessed by multiple transactions, no problem, because all the transactions are just reading the value. So that's we called as shared lock. We have one more lock called as exclusive lock. So what is exclusive lock? So when a transaction acquires exclusive lock on the database item, then the transaction can perform both read and write operations. So when a transaction, so when the database item is an exclusive lock, when a database item is locked with an exclusive lock, that database item cannot be accessed by other transactions. So that's we called as exclusive lock. So in this in the exclusive lock, the data item can be both read as well as written by the transaction. This lock is exclusive, and in this lock, multiple transactions do not modify the same data item simultaneously. So that's we called as exclusive lock actually. So in shared, so what is log-based concurrence control protocol? In log-based concurrence control protocol, in this protocol, any transaction cannot perform read or write operation until the transactions cannot perform read or write operations on data item until it acquires an appropriate lock on it. So this is called as log-based concurrence control. In this type of protocol, the transaction cannot perform read or write operations on the database data item until it acquires an appropriate lock on it. Without lock on object, the transaction cannot perform any operation. Actually, there are two types of locks. They are shared lock and exclusive lock. So shared lock is also known as read-only lock. In shared lock, the database item can only read by the transaction. So in the case of shared, the database item can. So a shared lock can be accessed by multiple transactions, no problem, because all the transactions are reading the value. That's called as shared lock. Another has we have the exclusive lock. In the case of exclusive lock, when a transaction wants to perform read and update the value, the transaction must request exclusive lock. Once the database item is locked with exclusive lock, other transaction cannot access that database item until the first transaction will release. That's we called as exclusive lock. So like this, we have the two locks. One is called as shared lock, another is called as exclusive lock. The one protocol that is used in concurrency control is strict two-phase locking protocol. So what are the protocol we are using is strict two-phase locking protocol. This one we are using. So one of the transaction, one of the concurrent, one of the log-based protocol is strict two-phase locking protocol. Strict two-phase lock protocol. So the one of the log-based protocol is strict two-phase lock protocol. A strict two-phase lock protocol has two phases. First phase is growing phase, another phase is the shrinking phase. In growing phase, so the transaction can acquire the locks. So when a transaction is acquiring the locks, we call it as growing phase. When after completion of the transaction can release the locks. That's we call a shrinking phase. We have the two phases in strict two-phase locking. Strict two-phase locking is one of the concurrence control protocol. So in the strict two-phase locking protocol has two phases. One is called as growing phase, another is called as shrinking phase. In growing phase, so the transaction can acquire the locks. While in the case of shrinking phase, the transaction can release the locks. There are the two phases. So for example, so this is one we are called as, for example, there are two transactions, T1 and T2. So transaction T1, shared lock on exclusive A. Transaction at the time at 2, transaction T1 locks B. Similarly, transaction 2, so locks A and C. So this is the growing phase is time 0 to 2 is the growing phase, because from 0 to 2, so we are acquiring the locks A and B for the transaction T1. For transaction T2, we are acquiring the locks A and C set from 1 to 5. So the growing phase is, we have the growing phase. After completion of the transactions, we are releasing the locks. So that we called as growing phase and shrinking phase. So growing phase from step 0 to 3, growing phase. Shrinking phase is 4 to 7, 0 to 3, 0 to 3 the growing phase, 4 to 7 is shrinking phase. Here we are acquiring the locks, here we are releasing the locks. For transaction 2, so we are acquiring the locks up to 5 and releasing the locks from 7 to 8. So from 4 to 7, we are acquiring the locks. At 1 to 5, we are acquiring the locks. 7 to 8, we are shrinking the locks. Lock point at 6. So this is the lock point. After completion, this is called as a lock point. Like this, we have the two phases. So like in strict two-phase locking protocol, what is a strict two-phase for locking protocol? So if a transaction wants to read an object, first it requests a shared lock on that object. If the transaction T wants to modify an object, first of all request an exclusive lock on the object. If there are two phases, what are the two phases? So what is the rule in two-phase locking? If a transaction wants to modify an object, so the transaction, first of all, the transaction requests exclusive lock on object. Once the transaction acquires the lock on the object, then after completion of the transaction, the locks must be released. That's what called as suppose we have the transactions. Suppose we have the transaction T1 wants to modify an object A. First, the transaction acquires the exclusive lock on A, perform read and write. Suppose there are two transactions. Suppose there are two transactions T1 and T2. Suppose T1 requires A and B objects. First, the transaction T1 requires exclusive lock on A, read and write A, and acquires exclusive lock on B, perform read and write on B, then commit. After that, transaction T2 will acquire the locks, one after another. So in this case, no problem is occurred. We have one more. For example, there are two transactions T1 and T2. T1 applied shared lock on A, reads only. At that time, T2 can also apply shared lock on A, no problem. Shared lock on A and reads A. Exclusive lock on B, read and write B and commit B. After that, it will read the X value, read X, read C, write C, and then commit. So this is about strict two-phase locking protocol. This is the one of the protocol that is used in strict two-phase locking. In strict two-phase locking, we acquire the locks. Then we can, after completion of the transaction, we can release the locks. First of all, we are acquire the lock and release the lock. So to begin the transaction, first of all, you have to acquire the lock. It's first. After completion of the transaction, you have to release the locks. That's called as really the second phase. We have, this is the way. So like this, we have the two transactions. These are the rules that are used in strict two-phase locking. This is one example of strict two-phase locking. This is about a log-based concurrence control. So like this, we have the log-based concurrence control. Tomorrow we discuss one more example.